For a long time, AI has been the stuff of science fiction, right? Well, not anymore. AI is here, it's real, and it's actually writing code. So what on earth does that mean for the people who build our entire digital world? Let's get into it.
This is the big one. It's the question that's on everyone's mind, kind of the elephant in the room for the entire software industry. Are we looking at a future without human coders? It's a question that causes a lot of anxiety, for sure, but also it's fueled by a ton of speculation. So instead of just guessing, a couple of researchers, Peter Knudsen and Qi Jiang, decided to do something brilliant. They went straight to the source. They actually surveyed the developers, the engineers, the managers, the people on the front lines to get past the hype and find out what's really happening with their jobs. Okay, so back to that big, scary question. Is this really the end of the line for programmers? The study's authors went digging for an answer, and honestly, what they found in the data might just surprise you.
So, right out of the gate, the study just completely flips the script. The main feeling from developers isn't fear of being replaced. It's the exact opposite. It's an expectation of a huge productivity boost. The whole conversation suddenly shifts from, am I going to have a job, to how is my job about to get way better?
That 20% number is a pretty bold claim, but what did the developers actually working with this stuff day in and day out have to say about their own job security and the kind of efficiency gains they're seeing?
Well, look at this. The data could not be clearer. When they were asked to rate their fear of being replaced by AI on a scale of 1 to 5, almost nobody was at the top end. The overwhelming majority were down at the bottom. They are just not that worried. We're talking less than 10% expressing any real concern.
And here's the other side of that coin. That low fear is matched by incredibly high optimism. A staggering 91%, that's almost everyone, expects their productivity to go up thanks to AI. And it's not a small bump either. Over 40% of them are expecting a serious increase of more than 20%.
Okay, so this brings us to the most important question, right? If AI isn't getting rid of developers, what is it doing? If it's making them so much more productive, what are they doing with all that extra time and brain power?
The answer, it turns out, isn't about getting rid of work. It's about changing the type of work that people are doing. We're seeing this massive shift in what's valuable, moving away from just typing on a keyboard and more toward deep, critical thinking.
Now, the study uses this classic idea called the tasks framework to explain this. And it's pretty simple, really. Every job is just a collection of tasks. Some of those tasks are routine, repetitive, you follow a set of rules, and others are non-routine. They need creativity, complex problem solving. And guess what? AI is absolutely brilliant at automating all that routine stuff.
And here's exactly what that looks like in the real world. The skills developers said are becoming less important are things AI is great at helping with. Cranking out basic code, writing documentation, using known algorithms. And the skills they said are needed more, well, those are the high-level brain power skills. Deep analytical thinking, making sure everything is secure, and, this one's key, the ability to actually understand and double-check the code that the AI writes. So what we're seeing is this incredible evolution of the role. A developer is no longer just a code writer who's paid to type. They're becoming more of a code strategist. They're the creative director, the problem solver, who guides this super powerful AI sidekick to handle all the tedious work.
But this whole evolution leads to what is, I think, the most mind-bending finding in this entire study. It's a genuine paradox that just perfectly sums up this weird moment in time we're living through. Get this, the survey asked developers, what job role do you think is most vulnerable to being replaced by AI? The number one answer, software developer. Then they asked, okay, what role do you think is most in demand because of AI? And again, the number one answer was software developer. I mean, that sounds totally nuts, right? It's a complete contradiction. How can the exact same job title be at the very top of both of those lists? Is the role dying out or is it booming? The answer, crazily enough, is kind of both.
Here's how you solve the paradox. 1. AI automates all the routine stuff. 2. This makes the classic entry-level job, the one focused only on writing basic code, pretty vulnerable. But 3. By taking over those simple tasks, it frees up human developers to focus on way harder problems like system architecture, security, complex analysis. And 4. This creates a massive, soaring demand for those high-level, strategic developers.
So you see, it was never really a story about replacement. It's a story about elevation.
The very definition of what a software developer is getting a massive upgrade, with AI handling the old stuff so humans can tackle the new, more interesting challenges. So, after all that, what does this actually mean for you? Whether you're a developer right now, a manager, or maybe you're just curious about where all this tech is heading, what are the big things you should take away from all this? Let's do a quick recap. First off, the people actually in the trenches aren't scared. They're excited about getting more done. Second, the skills that are going to matter most are changing. It's less about typing and more about thinking. And finally, the job itself isn't going anywhere. It's just evolving into something bigger and more valuable. Oh, and one last little gem from the study. It turns out the biggest thing slowing this whole transformation down isn't the technology itself or even developers who don't want to use it. Nope. It's good old-fashioned company policy just trying to catch up with all the security and privacy issues. And really, that's the core message here, isn't it? The tech is here, it's ready. The real challenge, for all of us, for every company, is just figuring out how to adapt. So, we'll leave you with this final thought. The debate about if AI is going to change the world of software, that's over. It's happening. The only question that's left is, how are you going to change with it?